Yeah, hi there. These comments are for 6314, and this is Professor Buckoff, your English 106 instructor here at California State University, San Bernardino. And thank you for completing your essay number 2. So overall, we have 39 points out of 50, or 78% on this particular assignment. And if you want to talk more about your grade, feel free to come by my office. I know that you came by the other day, so I feel kind of bad. I don't know if I'd stepped out to go over to the English department office or whatever, but I'm pretty certain I was in my office. I mean, I know I was. I talked to 3 different students between about 10:30 and 11:50, so somehow we did not find each other. So if you want to talk a little bit more about the paper, feel free to come by. All right, so you can make improvements, I think, maybe, in, you know what, wait a minute. I got one thing, I think I made a mistake here. I'm going to give you 2 extra points in the beginning. So hold on a second. So 41, 82. So your grade is 82, not 79. Okay, the first thing is the thesis itself. So you don't really have that much of an introduction. I mean, you introduce it by introducing the cartoon, but you should probably start off with some general statements that lead more to a thesis, which you didn't do. Let me give you an example what I'm talking about, and you know what you wrote, right? So this student says, many fashion trends have been shifting throughout history. One day it may be the most talked about trend, then the next day it will be the most hated thing on earth. Trends may even appear for a short period of time, but it can be the most talked about thing of the day. But where does it start? Does it come from the most well-known people or from underground? In a comic strip called The City, written by an American cartoonist, John Backdorf, he shows how these fashion trends turn out to be cool. Throughout this paper, I would like to state Durf's theory, elaborate on his hidden message, and test his theory. So that's a shorter intro, but it raises a topic first by talking about fads and trends generally, and then it leads to the thesis near the end of the paragraph, which frames the 3 parts of the assignment. Right, so that's probably the first thing you can do to make the paper a little bit better than what it is. Now the second thing, everything else was pretty good, but the last thing is this one. The writer makes it clear whether his or her experience affirms, revises, or refutes Durf's theory. So as you get into your explanation, for example, on the 3rd page, you say Facebook was a big trend and was at one point extremely popular around 2008 and 2009. The trend became popular through word of mouth and slowly began to gain popularity until it became extremely popular. So how does that compare to Durf's idea? I think Durf also says that his trend started with the art students and slowly, maybe by word of mouth, it became more popular with the hipsters and then the indie rock musicians, right? So what you have to do is, as you're discussing your fad, you have to make those comparisons back to Durf's ideas. That was part of the requirement. So when you got to the very end of your paragraph, you said this validates Durf's theory. It shows the same cycle of trend seen in his cartoon with the dangling booger. So I was interested that you expand on that a little bit more than you did. I mean, you said that sentence, which does address the writing task, but you probably didn't talk about it in enough detail. You say after teenagers began to use Facebook, they could see all their favorite artists and celebrities and friends joining the website as well. Then you say this is very similar to in box 2 of the cartoon, or when Tabitha Soren, a popular reality TV host, also appears wearing the booger, and then thousands of high school teenagers follow suit. Again, once you mention something about your own background, about your own fad, then you try to make some comparison back to Durf's ideas. So you have this back and forth, this juxtaposing ideas from Durf's ideas and his theories, and then combining those with your own. that type of synthesis would have given your writing just a little more depth. All right, but still it was pretty good. Now from a polishing standpoint, I'd like you to go to Google and review a couple of things here. Let me look at them right now. Seems to be a pretty big issue with you right now. What is a run-on sentence, first of all? How do you repair a run-on sentence? You have a lot of those. See if you can figure that out. The other one is, how do you use apostrophes in writing? Again, using Google, do some research, see if you can figure that out. That seemed to be a big problem. The other one, it's the you point of view. So you can go to Google and type in these keywords, put choosing the appropriate point of view in writing, or you can type in avoiding the you point of view in academic writing. And you can pull up some sites. So what I want you to do is to see what the you point of view is and why we use it. And then if we don't need it, then how can you create a different sentence with a different point of view that's not that second person singular. And that'll help you with your polishing issues a little bit. Alright, so overall though, you put a pretty good effort into the paper. You have 82 out of 100, which gives you a B-. And like I said, come by and talk to me if you want to talk about the paper in a little more detail. For example, if you feel that because you weren't able to talk to me in my office yesterday, and that somehow, maybe Wednesday, if that legitimately you think affected your grade and you feel like you could have done better had you talked to me, which may be the case, come by. So I'm going to say in your case, just between you and me here, that if you want to try to rework the paper a little bit, if you think you can make it better, especially since you felt like you came to my office and I wasn't there. And I'm sure I was here, but if I wasn't, I don't want to. If you somehow missed me, I feel bad about that. I don't want that. I do not want that to be the reason that you don't get the 85 out of 100, right? So if you feel bad about that, come by, we'll talk about it. I'm flexible. All right? Anyway, thank you very much, and keep up the good work.